Tonight, you will walk through the gates of time, not with urgency, not with haste, but with the soft rhythm of a body that is ready to rest. The day has carried you far enough, and now, as you breathe deeply, you find yourself standing on the threshold of another world. Alexandria, the shining jewel of the ancient Mediterranean, lies before you. Yet, this is no bustling day of merchants and philosophers, no crowded agora, no shouting of sailors across the harbor. No, this is a quieter Alexandria, an Alexandria held in the gentle embrace of rain. You pause, letting the soft patter wash over you. Raindrops strike the stones at your feet, scattering like tiny bells, delicate, calming, endless. The sound is neither loud nor sharp. It is steady, soothing, like the heartbeat of the city itself. And in that rhythm you begin to notice your own breathing. Inhale slowly, like the sea drawing back from the shore. Exhale gently, like the waves returning to rest. The gates of the city loom above you, not in grandeur, not in intimidation, but like ancient guardians softened by mist. Oil lamps flicker from alcoves, their flames bending slightly as the wind carries the rain in drifting veils. Shadows stretch long and wavering across the wet stones, as though the city itself is inviting you in, beckoning you to walk deeper, to leave behind the noise of the present and step into a softer world. You take your first step. The stone beneath your feet is cool and smooth, worn down by centuries of sandals and wheels, by people long forgotten, by travelers from distant lands who, like you, once sought the promise of something greater inside these walls. The rain glistens across the path, making every surface shine as if polished by unseen hands. Have you ever wondered what it feels like to enter a city not as a visitor? Not as a stranger, but as if you are returning to a place you have always known. That is how it feels now. As though the stones remember you. As though the rain itself has been waiting for your arrival. The streets beyond are quiet. Merchants have long since drawn down their stalls, covering their wares with cloth to keep the night dampness at bay. The smells of the day linger in the air. Faint traces of cinnamon, saffron, roasted barley bread, and pressed olives. The scents mix with the fresh coolness of rain, earthy and clean, weaving together something both foreign and familiar, something that makes you feel held, safe, and welcome. You walk slowly, each step measured, unhurried. Your shoulders soften. The tension of the day begins to dissolve, like ink dispersing into clear water. Every sound seems to guide you further inward, further into calm. The rain drumming softly on rooftops, the distant roll of thunder gentle and slow like a giant breathing in his sleep, the hush of water trickling along gutters, threading its way toward the sea. And in that sea, though you cannot yet see it, you feel its presence. The harbor lies not far from here. You can almost hear it, a low whisper beneath the rain, waves kissing the wooden hulls of moored ships, ropes creaking as they sway gently. Ships that carried knowledge, spices, scrolls, and stories from across the world. Ships that brought voices and dreams from lands you may never see, and yet whose presence you can almost touch in this night air. The lamps along the main road guide you forward. Each one burns softly, not to banish the night, but to make it gentler, warmer, as though you are walking not through darkness, but through a dream. The flames shimmer golden against the wet pavement, casting reflections that ripple and sway like pools of liquid light. You watch them flicker, and for a moment you feel your thoughts flicker too. But then, as quickly as they arise, they drift away, dissolving into stillness. There is no need to think too much here. No need to remember the weight of your day, the unfinished tasks, the lingering questions. Alexandria holds them for you now. The city has always been a keeper of memory, of knowledge, of burdens too heavy to carry alone. Tonight, it will hold yours as gently as it holds the rain. You breathe again, deeper this time. Feel the air move through you, filling you not with urgency but with ease. Your chest rises and falls in slow harmony with the rhythm around you. Inhale, pause, exhale. With each breath, you settle further into the calm that this city offers. You walk past doorways where families sit quietly, lamps glowing within. Faint voices murmur. Bedtime stories, lullabies for children, conversations about nothing urgent at all. The rain softens their sounds, carrying them outward, as though even the words themselves are reluctant to disturb the night. You pass them like a shadow, unseen yet welcomed, as though you belong here, as though you have always belonged. Have you ever wondered what it felt like to wander an ancient city after the world has gone to sleep, to hear only the whispers of rain and distant footsteps? Tonight, you are here to find out. The city is yours, the night is yours, and you are free to drift as slowly as you wish. The path slopes gently downward. Pools of rainwater gather in hollows, mirroring the lamps above, each puddle a small universe of its own. You look into one, and for a moment the reflection seems like a gateway, a secret opening into another layer of the night. But then the ripples come, gentle, playful, breaking the illusion, reminding you that everything in this city is alive, always shifting, always flowing. The walls here are made of stone blocks, ancient and strong, yet softened by time. Moss clings to corners, faint green even in the dim light. Vines creep along, swaying lightly in the breeze. Everything carries a sense of patience, of endurance, as though the city is teaching you that there is no need to rush, that even the longest lives are but moments in eternity, that tonight your only task is to walk, to breathe, to be here, in this rain, in this silence. As you move deeper into the heart of the city, the rain changes. It becomes lighter, more delicate, like threads of silver falling from the sky. You tilt your head back for a moment, letting the cool droplets touch your face. They feel cleansing, as though they are washing away the remnants of thought, the heaviness of the day, the dust of countless hours. The streets open into a small square. At its center stands a fountain, dry now, yet still beautiful. Carved figures, worn by time, stand in silent poses, guardians of memory. The rain gathers in the basin, making its own quiet fountain, drops falling into pools, creating circles that expand and overlap endlessly. You pause here, standing in the square, listening. It is in these pauses that the city reveals its deepest calm. The quiet is not empty. It is full. Full of whispers, of histories, of lives once lived, of knowledge once spoken. And yet, to you it feels not overwhelming, but comforting, like being wrapped in a blanket woven from centuries of stories. You close your eyes for a moment. The sound of rain is all around you now. It is above, falling from the sky. It is beside you, tapping against stone. It is beneath you, flowing along the streets. It is within you, your heartbeat, syncing with its rhythm. Rain outside, rain inside, and all of it soft, all of it steady. Inhale, exhale. A little slower now, a little deeper. You have arrived. The lamps continue to glow, guiding you forward once again. The streets ahead seem to stretch into shadow, but not the shadow of fear. The shadow of mystery, of possibility, of dreams waiting just beyond the edge of sight. You follow not hurriedly but gently, like a leaf carried on water, drifting, unresisting, toward wherever the current flows. And as you walk, you notice how the rain itself is easing. The drops are fewer now, softer, like whispers fading into silence. The mist that once shrouded the gates now lingers as a delicate veil, thinning as you move deeper into the heart of Alexandria. The night is opening before you. The city is waiting, calm and timeless, and you, with each step, are sinking deeper into the quiet embrace of its rain-kissed streets. The rain grows softer still, leading you gently, peacefully, into the heart of the city. The rain has softened now, falling like a veil of silver threads. You step deeper into Alexandria, and the city reveals itself in quiet ways. The streets are narrow here, worn smooth by centuries of footsteps, their stones dark and glistening under the lamplight. Every surface seems to carry the memory of those who have passed this way before. Traders and poets, sailors and scholars, dreamers and wanderers, all leaving their silent traces in the stones you now walk upon. You move slowly, unhurried, as though the night itself is carrying you. Your body feels lighter than before. Your shoulders have softened, your breath has lengthened. You are not rushing to arrive anywhere. You are already where you need to be, here, in this stillness, in this ancient city held by rain. The market stalls are shuttered. Wooden planks creak faintly in the damp. Canvas awnings sag with raindrops that collect and fall, one by one, into small puddles below. Even closed, the stalls tell their stories. A faint smell of dried figs lingers in the air. The sharp trace of cinnamon clings to the wet night. Olive oil, sesame, honey. Their presence is ghost-like now, yet still there, a reminder of the day that has ended, of voices that have quieted. Have you ever walked through a marketplace after the world has gone to sleep? The echoes of the day still there, but softened, like the aftertaste of a memory. That is what it feels like here. You sense the busyness of what once was, but it is distant now, muted, gentle. Nothing clamors for your attention. Nothing presses on your mind. Only quiet, only rest. The lamps along the street burn low. Their flames flicker against the damp air, wavering but steady, like the heartbeat of the city. Each one casts a circle of golden light that spreads across the stone, then dissolves into shadow. You walk from circle to circle as if stepping across islands of warmth in a sea of night. Each time you leave the light, you drift into shadow, cool, calm, embracing, and then return again to the glow of the next lamp, and the next shadow and light, coolness and warmth, silence and sound, all weaving together into one soft rhythm. And you drifting in harmony with it, your breath syncing with your steps, your body melting into the pace of the city. You notice the rain's song changing as it touches different surfaces. Against clay tiles, it is a soft tapping. Against wooden shutters, it is a muffled drum. Against stone, it is a steady patter, steady and grounding. Each sound is part of a greater orchestra, an ancient lullaby played only for you. You pause at a doorway. The wooden lintel is carved with patterns, faded but beautiful. Perhaps it once belonged to a family of merchants, perhaps to a scholar who copied scrolls by lamplight. You imagine their lives for a moment, not with curiosity that agitates, but with curiosity that soothes. What stories unfolded behind this door? What quiet laughter, what whispered prayers, what simple evenings spent in warmth? The details do not matter. What matters is the presence, the sense that countless lives have passed through here, and that in their passing they have left behind a gentle calm, one you can feel now as you stand quietly in the rain. The street narrows, then widens, then bends, like a river flowing between walls of stone. Your steps echo faintly, a hollow sound softened by water. Cats slip through the shadows, their eyes glinting for a moment before disappearing again. They are the silent companions of the city, keepers of its corners, moving as quietly as the night itself. You breathe in. The air is cool, carrying with it the faint scent of the sea. You are not yet at the harbour, but already its presence is felt. Alexandria is a city of water as much as stone. The rain above, the sea beyond, the fountains and cisterns within. Everything is connected by the gentle flow of water, and tonight you are part of that flow. With each breath, you feel your body sinking further into rest. Your mind loosens its grip on thought. There is no urgency here, no noise, no demand for you to act or decide. Only the rhythm of rain, the glow of lamps, the silence of streets that welcome your wandering. Have you ever wondered how different the night must have felt in an ancient city? Before the hum of engines, before the glare of electricity, here the night is alive, but not with noise, alive with silence, alive with presence. Every shadow is deep, every flame meaningful. Darkness is not something to resist, but something to rest in, something to lean into like a soft cushion. You pass a small shrine at a corner. A candle burns faintly within, its flame wavering but unyielding. The stone figure carved above it is weathered, its features blurred by centuries, yet the gesture of protection is still clear. Someone placed fresh flowers there earlier in the day. Now they are wet with rain, their scent sweet and heavy in the cool night air. You bow your head slightly as you pass, not in ritual, but in quiet respect. The city is full of such places, these small sanctuaries, reminders that even in the vastness of history, tenderness has always mattered. The streets begin to slope gently upward now. Your feet press into the wet stone, steady and sure. The higher you go, the more the city seems to hush. The sounds of the day, already faint, fade even further. You notice only the soft rhythm of your breath, the tapping of rain, and the occasional rustle of fabric as a shutter moves in the breeze. You reach a small archway half hidden in shadow. Through it lies another lane, even narrower, lined with tall walls that seem to lean inward, as if protecting the silence within. You step through, and suddenly the world feels more intimate, more enclosed, as though the city has drawn you deeper into its heart. Here the rain falls more gently, sheltered by the walls. You can hear individual drops landing in small pools, hear the faint drip of water from a roof edge, hear the slow sigh of wind threading its way between the stones. Every sound is magnified by the quiet, yet softened at the same time, as though the city is whispering directly into your ear. You run your hand lightly along the wall. The stone is cool, damp beneath your touch, rough in some places, smooth in others. It grounds you. It connects you. It reminds you that you are here, in this moment, walking where countless others have walked, breathing the same rain-softened air that has always been part of this city. And as you walk, you notice something subtle. Your own pace has slowed even further. Your steps are longer now, your breathing deeper. The city has set its rhythm, and you have joined it. Time stretches, loosens, fades. Minutes feel like hours, and hours like dreams. You are no longer bound by the clock of your day. You are walking instead by the clock of rain, by the heartbeat of stillness. Another street opens before you, wider this time. A tree grows in its center, its branches reaching outward, wet leaves shining under the lamplight. You pause, looking upward. Droplets fall from the branches, catching the light as they descend. Each one is like a tiny star, falling slowly, gracefully, before vanishing into the earth. You listen to the sound they make, delicate, fleeting, yet endless. You stand beneath the tree for a while, letting its presence calm you. It has stood here for decades, maybe centuries, watching the city change, watching people come and go, standing through countless nights like this one. And still it is here. Still, it offers shelter, shade, and the beauty of rain dripping from its leaves. You feel its patience, its stillness, and you take it into yourself. When you move on, you notice that the lamps ahead are fewer. The light is dimmer, the shadows deeper. Yet you do not feel unease. The shadows here are gentle, like a blanket being pulled across the night, wrapping the city in rest. You walk into them willingly, your body soft, your mind quiet. And there, in the quiet, you hear something. Not loud, not near, but distant and steady. The faint whisper of the harbour, the rhythm of water meeting wood, the call of the sea, waiting beyond the streets. But that is for later. For now, you remain here, in these still streets, walking slowly, breathing deeply, listening to the rain. The lamps flicker once more. The rain thins further, like threads of silk unraveling into air. The streets stretch onward toward a glow in the distance, the glow of knowledge, the glow of memory, the glow of a library waiting by candlelight, and so gently you follow. Tonight you will drift deeper into Alexandria, guided by the silver hush of rain. The narrow streets soften into wide avenues, and ahead, through the shimmering mist, rises a building unlike any other. The Great Library. It does not stand loudly, nor does it demand your awe. Instead, it waits quietly, like a patient elder, its columns tall as trees, its entrance adorned with carvings that seem almost to glow in the lamplight. You pause at the threshold, listening to the rain tapping gently against the stone. A guard, cloaked against the damp evening, nods slowly and opens the heavy wooden doors for you. As you step inside, the sound of the city fades, the world outside slips away, and you find yourself embraced by warmth, silence, and the faint glow of candlelight. The air smells of beeswax, of polished cedar, and of something older still, papyrus and ink, parchment and time. You breathe in deeply, and as you exhale, your body softens, shoulders relaxing, chest loosening. The library invites you to let go of the weight you carried through the rain, to leave behind all thoughts of tomorrow, and to rest fully here in this temple of memory. The chamber before you is vast, yet gentle. Rows upon rows of shelves stretch into shadow, each one lined with scrolls bound in careful bundles, sealed with twine, resting like sleeping children. Candles flicker in niches along the walls, their flames swaying softly, casting long, graceful shadows across the marble floor. The light is not harsh but golden, as though the library itself wishes only to soothe the eyes, to calm the heart. You walk slowly, your footsteps muffled by woven rugs beneath your sandals. The quiet here is not empty, it is full, alive, humming with centuries of thought. You feel it in your chest, like a soft resonance, a gentle vibration. Have you ever wondered what it would feel like to stand in a place where every whisper of human curiosity, every question, every hope for understanding had been gathered together? Here, in the stillness, you do. A robed scholar, bent with age but steady in presence, glances up from a candle-lit desk. He offers you a smile, not hurried, not expectant, but knowing, as though he understands why you've come, even if you don't fully know yourself. He gestures toward the shelves and murmurs, "Take your time. All things can be found here." His voice is calm, low, like rain on a distant roof. You nod, returning his smile, and continue your slow walk between the towering shelves. The scent of papyrus and parchment deepens as you move further in, mingling with faint traces of oil and wax. Every so often you pass another scholar, silent, their faces bathed in golden light, eyes tracing words preserved for centuries. No one speaks above a whisper, yet you feel no pressure to hurry, no expectation to know or to do. Here you are allowed only to be. You pause at a tall lectern where an open scroll waits. The parchment is thick, smooth to the touch, its ink a deep, steady black. The script curls and flows in delicate lines, a language both foreign and familiar. Even if you cannot read the words, you feel their weight. You sense the countless hours spent forming them, the care of the scribe who leaned close, quill in hand, candle burning low. You imagine the sound of the quill scratching softly, the way the ink must have glistened before it dried, the quiet satisfaction when the scroll was finally rolled and tied. Knowledge here was not hurried. It was woven patiently, one line at a time, and as you breathe in, you notice how your own thoughts begin to slow. The pace of the library becomes the pace of your mind. No rush, no urgency, just the steady rhythm of presence. Beyond the lectern, you find a staircase curling upward. The steps are worn smooth by centuries of feet, yet solid beneath you. You ascend slowly, running your hand along the cool marble rail, and as you rise, the glow of more candles comes into view. At the landing above, the hall opens wide. Here, beneath a domed ceiling painted with fading stars, scrolls lie arranged like constellations themselves, clusters of knowledge resting in harmony. Candles in bronze holders illuminate the space, their flames mirrored in the polished floor. You notice how the flicker of light seems to make the scrolls breathe, as though the library itself is alive, inhaling and exhaling with you. You settle onto a wooden bench near the window, where rain still drizzles softly outside. You hear it tapping faintly against the glass panes, a delicate percussion blending with the silence. In this moment, you feel both inside and outside, both sheltered and connected. You lean back, close your eyes for a breath, and imagine the minds who once walked here. Philosophers debating under these very arches, poets murmuring verses in the quiet corners, astronomers sketching the heavens by candlelight, physicians carefully copying remedies onto fresh scrolls, each life a spark now joined together in this place, a constellation of thought shining across time. Have you ever wondered what wisdom feels like, not as something you hold in your hands, but as something you breathe, something you simply sit among? Here in this golden quiet, you begin to know. Time in the library does not move as it does outside. Minutes stretch like silk. Hours fold into moments. You find yourself drifting deeper, drawn not to any one scroll, but to the gentle presence of them all. Together, they form a lullaby, a soft chorus of memory, of curiosity, of longing. Your breathing slows to match the rhythm of the candles, each inhale a flicker, each exhale a soft release. The worries you carried with you, the echoes of the day, the weight of unfinished thoughts, dissolve into the shadows between the shelves. The library holds them for you, tenderly, asking nothing in return. Eventually, you rise from the bench and wander toward the heart of the hall. There, you discover a small alcove lined with cushions, its walls painted with scenes of rivers, mountains, and stars. A single candle burns steadily in the center, its flame tall and calm, casting a gentle halo across the painted walls. You step inside, lowering yourself onto a cushion, feeling the softness embrace you. You place your hands gently in your lap, closing your eyes once more, and here the library speaks to you not in words, not in ink or parchment, but in silence. The kind of silence that listens, the kind of silence that says, you are safe, you are home. You are allowed to rest. You stay there as long as you wish. Eyes closed, body calm, mind drifting, until at last you feel ready to move again. When you emerge, the candles have burned lower, their wax forming small rivers down bronze holders. The rain outside has softened further, no longer tapping, just whispering against the glass. The library feels even warmer now, even gentler, as though it too has exhaled. You descend the staircase slowly, your hand once again brushing the marble rail. At the bottom, the elder scholar still sits at his desk, the same faint smile upon his lips. He does not speak as you pass, yet you feel his gaze like a blessing, a quiet acknowledgement that you have shared in something eternal. You bow your head in gratitude, and he nods in return. As you step back into the entrance hall, the great wooden doors wait before you. Beyond them, Alexandria still shimmers in rain, but you are not the same as when you entered. The library has stilled you, softened you, filled you with the hush of centuries. And as you push the doors gently open, stepping once more into the damp evening, you hear the rain again, but now it feels different. Not sharp, not heavy, but delicate, like 1,000 tiny hands blessing the earth. The city waits beyond, its streets glowing softly with lamplight, and you, carrying the calm of the library within you, begin to walk slowly into the night. Each step steady, each breath easy, each moment lighter than the last. The rain eases even more as you move forward, becoming a faint mist. The glow of the lamps leads you toward the heart of the city, where voices hum like distant music,
and where the next chapter of your journey patiently awaits. And so,
with the library's candlelight still flickering gently inside you, you drift onward, softened, slowed, and ready for what comes next. Tonight, as you leave the quiet embrace of the library, you carry its golden hush within you. The rain has softened to the gentlest of mists, barely more than a breath against your skin. The streets of Alexandria glisten faintly, lamplight reflected in the sheen of wet stone. Each step you take is calm, deliberate, as though your body has learned the library's rhythm and now moves in time with it. You follow the slope of a wide avenue until the buildings part and an open courtyard reveals itself ahead. You pause at its threshold. The courtyard feels alive yet quiet, an island of thought in the midst of the city. Olive trees, their leaves glistening with droplets, stand in orderly rows, their branches swaying softly in the night air. Lanterns hang from iron posts, their flames steady, illuminating clusters of men and women gathered in small circles upon the marble benches. This is the Philosophers Courtyard. You step forward, drawn not by urgency but by the gentle pull of curiosity. The sound of voices reaches you, not loud, not harsh, but low and rhythmic, like a tide rolling in and out. Groups of scholars and students lean close, some listening intently, others speaking with gestures measured and graceful. Their words flow in Greek, in Egyptian, in tongues you may not understand. But the tone is universal: curiosity, wonder, a hunger to understand the world and the self. Have you ever noticed how conversation can sound like music?
not because of melody or instruments, but because of cadence, of pauses, of voices rising and falling like waves.
Here, under the misted night sky, that music surrounds you. You breathe it in, noticing how each inhalation deepens your calm, and how each exhalation lets your body settle more softly into the present moment. In the center of the courtyard, a circle has formed. Philosophers sit upon low stools, their robes simple, their sandals damp from the rain. One speaks with quiet intensity, his hand tracing shapes in the air as he speaks of the soul, of the nature of justice, of the way light touches water. Another listens, nodding slowly, then responds, her voice steady, suggesting that truth is not in the answer, but in the asking. You sit on the edge of the circle, welcomed silently, without question, without expectation.
No one asks for your name or your place.
Here, your presence is enough. You are part of the circle simply by being here. The night deepens. Above, the clouds begin to part, revealing fragments of starlight. The air smells faintly of wet stone and olive leaves, with a hint of smoke from nearby lamps. You close your eyes for a moment and simply listen. A philosopher speaks of memory, how fragile it can be, how it fades like ink left too long in the sun. Another counters gently, saying memory lives not only in the mind but in the body, in the rhythm of breath, in the heartbeat that remembers what words cannot. Their exchange is not an argument, not a contest, but a weaving. Each voice threads gently into the other, forming a tapestry of thought. You realize that here, truth is not a single jewel to be discovered, but a pool into which many reflections fall. You open your eyes and gaze at the fountain that rests in the courtyard's center.
Rainwater has gathered there, rippling slightly under the breeze.
The philosophers' voices seem to ripple across the water too, their words becoming part of its surface. You watch as the flame of a nearby lantern reflects across the fountain, its light broken into gentle fragments. Have you ever wondered whether wisdom is like that? Never one steady flame, but many shifting reflections across the water. The thought drifts through you, not sharp, not demanding, just soft, like the mist that clings to your skin. Around you, the conversation shifts. One philosopher speaks of the stars. He points upward, toward the break in the clouds where constellations slowly emerge. He names them one by one, the hunter, the bull, the scales, and explains how each star is both light and story, both science and myth. Another voice suggests that perhaps the stars are mirrors of the soul, shining outward what we already hold within. Their words blur into poetry, and for a moment you lose track of the boundaries between what is real and what is imagined. It does not matter here. Both are welcome. Both are part of the same gentle night. A younger student leans forward, eager, asking a question about time. How does one measure it? Is it the passage of stars, the flow of rivers, the beating of the heart? The elder philosopher smiles softly and replies, time is not only what moves forward, but also what gathers. It gathers in moments such as these, when voices meet, when silence listens. The words settle in you like a blanket. You feel their warmth, their ease, their invitation to release any need to hold on. You notice your breath again, slow, steady, matching the rhythm of the courtyard. Inhale, the cool dampness of night. Exhale, the warmth of the lamp's golden glow. Your shoulders soften further. Your hands rest loosely in your lap. You are not here to argue, to prove, to persuade. You are here to drift, to listen, to rest in the music of voices carried on the night air. The courtyard holds you gently, like the library did, but in a different way. The library was silence. The courtyard is sound. Yet both lead you to the same place of calm, the same invitation to release. Time passes, though you hardly notice. The mist thins. The rain has fully ceased. Above the sky has opened, stars glittering like fine dust upon velvet. The philosophers pause now and then, gazing upward, as though the heavens themselves are part of the dialogue. One elder begins to recite softly, lines of poetry about dawn, about how night and day are not opposites, but companions, one giving meaning to the other. His voice is low, almost a whisper, but carries clearly in the night air. You close your eyes once more, letting the cadence of his words wash over you. Each syllable is like a gentle footstep along a quiet path. Each pause is like a breath between heartbeats. Eventually, the conversations begin to slow. Some philosophers lean back, folding their arms across their robes.
Others rise, stretching, their movements unhurried.
A few linger by the fountain, still murmuring, while others begin to drift toward the streets beyond. The courtyard softens. The air cools. The olive leaves glisten faintly under the starlight. You remain seated, calm, steady, watching the last flames of the lanterns flicker lower. There is no ending here, no conclusion, no final truth declared, only the gentle continuation of thought, the assurance that wisdom is not finished but ongoing, unfolding quietly with each new night. At last, you rise. Your body feels lighter, your mind quieter. You take one last look at the fountain, its surface now smooth, reflecting stars unbroken. You hear the faintest laughter in the distance, a sound not of mockery, but of joy, of simple delight in the act of gathering,
of being alive beneath the same sky. You turn toward the narrow street that leads out of the courtyard.
Your steps are unhurried, each one carrying you deeper into rest. The city is quieter now. The rain has passed. The night air feels cool and clean against your face. As you walk, you notice how the philosophers' voices still linger in your mind, not as noise, but as a gentle hum, like the fading notes of a song. They accompany you soft and steady as you move further into the sleeping city. Tonight, you follow the path away from the courtyard, carrying with you the soft hum of voices that still echo gently in memory. The rain has fully passed, leaving the air cool, washed, and still. A faint mist clings to the cobblestones, rising in swirls around your steps, as though the earth itself exhales a final sigh before surrendering to silence. The streets are narrower now, and taller walls flank you on either side. Shadows stretch long across the passage, but they do not feel heavy or foreboding. Instead, they seem to fold around you like a cloak, protective and quiet. Oil lamps burn only sparsely here, and where their glow does not reach, the night deepens into velvety pools of calm. Have you ever noticed how silence has its own texture? How it can feel thick and full, or light and open, or soft like the space between heartbeats? Here, the silence is not empty. It carries a weight, a presence, a richness more valuable than any coin or jewel. You slow your pace, letting your senses adjust. The hush of the city gathers around you, and your body feels as though it too begins to soften and release. You breathe deeply.
Inhale, cool air touched by stone.
Exhale, warmth leaving your body, drifting into night. Ahead, the street opens into a small square, a space hidden from the bustle of Alexandria, a place known only to those who seek it. A fountain stands at the center, its basin still and reflective, save for the occasional drop of water falling from above. The sound is steady, rhythmic, almost like the ticking of a slow clock. But without urgency, without demand, you walk closer, and as you peer into the fountain, you see your reflection ripple across the surface. For a moment you pause. You look not only at your face, but into the stillness that frames it, the quiet that surrounds it.
And you realize even in silence there is a story. Even in stillness there is depth. You sit on the edge of the fountain.
The stone is cool beneath your hand, smooth from centuries of touch. You rest there, listening. Not to voices, not to wind or rain, but to the absence of them. The absence that is not empty, but full. This is the silent wealth of the mind. It is not written in scrolls, nor spoken in arguments, nor captured in monuments of marble. It is the quiet that comes when thought no longer strives, when memory no longer clings, when the heart beats gently without haste. Have you ever noticed how rare it is to sit without reaching, without planning, without weighing tomorrow against today? And yet, in this square, under this ancient sky, such simplicity feels not only possible, but natural. Your breathing grows slower. Your shoulders loosen further. You lean back slightly, supported by the fountain's edge, and gaze upward at the night. The stars shine brighter now, freed from the veil of clouds. They scatter across the heavens in patterns older than cities, older than stories, older even than memory itself. And in their light you feel small, but not in a way that diminishes you. Instead, you feel small in a way that frees you, that lifts the weight of needing to carry everything, to know everything, to solve everything. The stars remind you it is enough to be. The wealth of silence lies in this truth.
That beneath all the striving, all the noise,
all the endless pursuit of more, there is a treasure already present. The quiet of being alive, the softness of simply breathing under the night sky. Time drifts. You are not sure how long you sit by the fountain, but it does not matter. The square is timeless, a sanctuary carved out of stone and air. You watch as the lanterns burn lower on their posts, their flames bowing like heads in sleep. You hear the faint rustle of an olive tree nearby, its leaves stirred by a gentle wind, and within you a deeper quiet grows. A thought drifts through your mind, unhurried, like a feather floating on water. Perhaps silence is not the absence of sound, but the presence of space. A space wide enough for rest, wide enough for peace, wide enough to hold you exactly as you are. As you sit in this realization, you notice a doorway at the far end of the square. Its arch is plain, carved from stone without ornament, but it glows faintly with the light of a single lamp placed within. You rise slowly, feeling no rush, only the gentle pull of curiosity. Your footsteps echo softly as you cross the square, and with each step, the silence deepens, as though the night is guiding you inward, deeper still. The doorway leads into a small chamber. The air inside is cooler, more still, carrying the faint scent of wax and stone. Candles burn low along the walls, their light golden and subdued. Cushions are scattered across the floor, inviting rest, inviting pause. You step inside and feel the hush wrap around you like a second skin. You lower yourself onto one of the cushions. The fabric is soft, worn smooth from use. You close your eyes and breathe, allowing the stillness of the chamber to enter you. There are no scrolls here, no arguments, no debates, only space. A sacred space for silence, and as you rest, you begin to notice something. Silence has a voice, not in words, not in syllables, but in presence. It speaks in the slowing of your breath. It speaks in the loosening of your chest. It speaks in the steady rhythm of your heart. The silent wealth of the mind is not something you must earn. It is already yours. It waits patiently beneath the layers of thought and noise, like gold buried under earth, needing only stillness to be uncovered. Have you ever felt that shift? The moment when the world outside grows quiet enough that you can hear the world within. Tonight in this chamber you feel it fully. The outside dissolves. The city, the voices, the footsteps on wet stone, they fade. What remains is the calm tide of your own breath, carrying you deeper into rest. You breathe in, and the chamber fills with quiet light. You breathe out, and the weight of the day drifts away. Inhale, peace enters. Exhale, peace expands. Slowly, steadily, you surrender to it. Time becomes soft, pliant. You cannot tell whether minutes or hours pass, only that each moment deepens the silence further, until you feel yourself floating within it, as though your body has grown light, as though the air itself supports you, and in this weightless calm, a truth arises: wealth is not always what can be counted or measured. Sometimes the greatest wealth is what cannot be touched, the stillness that rests inside, the quiet that soothes, the silence that holds. This wealth is endless, because it belongs to no one and yet to everyone. Cannot be stolen, cannot be diminished, cannot be lost. It is here in this chamber. It is here in your breath. It is here in the still night of Alexandria. When you finally rise, the candles have burned lower, their flames now small, their wax nearly spent. You step quietly back into the square, where the fountain still glimmers faintly in the starlight. The silence follows you, but now it feels even deeper, because it has settled not only around you, but within you. You take one last look at the fountain, one last breath of cool night air, and then you turn toward a narrow passage leading outward. The city waits beyond its harbour, its lighthouse, its gardens. But you carry with you a wealth greater than any library or marketplace could hold. You carry silence. Tonight, you follow the winding path away from the silent square, carrying within you the quiet wealth of stillness. The city narrows and opens again, guiding you gently toward the edge where land meets water. Each step is unhurried, softened by the echo of waves that reach you long before you see them. The harbour breathes in the night.
Masts sway like tall shadows against the starlit sky.
Ropes creak gently as ships rock with the tide. And above all, beyond the ships, beyond the dark horizon, a steady glow shines. A light upon stone, unwavering, golden, reaching out across sea and sky. It is the lighthouse, the Pharaohs of Alexandria, one of the great wonders of the ancient world. And tonight, it does not stand as a monument of stone, but as a dream of light itself, calling you onward. You walk along the water's edge, the air rich with the scent of salt and rain-washed wood. The stones beneath your feet glisten smooth and damp. Fishermen's boats rest quietly in the shallows, their nets bundled, their oars tucked away. The world feels hushed, as though the sea itself has chosen to sleep lightly beneath the lighthouse's watch. Have you ever felt drawn to light in the darkness, not out of fear, but out of wonder?
Not because you are lost, but because light itself feels like a companion.
Tonight, that light calls you not to see, not to search, but to rest within its steady flame. The path curves, and you arrive at the base of the Pharos. Its foundation rises tall, built of massive blocks of stone that glisten faintly from the mist. The tower ascends in tiers, each level narrowing, each one reaching higher until it disappears into the sky. And at its summit the great flame burns, its glow mingling with the stars, as though heaven and earth have joined hands. You pause at the base, looking upward. The tower seems endless, yet soft in its presence. You place your hand upon the cool stone, solid, ancient, unshakable, a reminder that even in a world of shifting tides there are anchors that endure. And then, slowly, you begin to climb. The staircase spirals within. Your footsteps echo against stone, gentle, rhythmic, like a drum that beats not for urgency but for calm. Each step is paired with your breath. Inhale, lift. Exhale, settle. Inhale, step. Exhale, rest. The climb becomes less an effort and more a meditation, as though the tower itself is teaching you the art of moving slowly, of letting each moment carry only what it must. The air is cooler inside, carrying the faint scent of smoke from the great flame above. Now and then, narrow windows open to the night, and moonlight streams in, laying silver upon the stone. You pause at one, looking out across the harbour, the ships like dark brushstrokes against the water's sheen. The city glows faintly behind you, its lamps dimming, its voices hushed. You continue upward. As you climb, the sounds of the world fall further away. The city fades, the harbour quiets, even the sea seems to soften. What remains is the spiral, the stone, the rhythm of your breath, and in that rhythm you begin to notice something deeper. Each step upward feels as though it carries you not only higher in the tower, but deeper into yourself. The staircase becomes a symbol, a dream of ascent, not striving upward for gain, but rising gently into spaciousness, into light. Have you ever climbed in a dream, where each step feels both endless and effortless? Tonight, the Pharaohs becomes that dream. At last, you reach a chamber near the summit. The walls glow faintly with the reflection of firelight. A final stair leads upward into the great flame's presence.
You ascend, and the chamber opens into the beacon itself. The fire blazes at the heart of a massive bowl,
tended by keepers who move slowly, silently, adding oil, adjusting logs, their movements steady as ritual. The flame roars gently, yet its sound is not harsh. It is like a deep, warm breath, alive, constant, timeless. You step closer, feeling its warmth against your skin, watching as it dances upward, stretching into the sky. The fire does not waver. It does not flicker with doubt. It stands tall, steady, as though it too has learned the art of silence. You move to the railing, and the view opens before you. The sea spreads infinite in every direction, its surface shimmering under starlight, broken only by the flame's reflection, a golden path stretching far into the horizon. Ships that drift upon the water look toward this light, their sails turned gently, their paths aligned, and you realize this flame is not only for sailors, it is for dreamers too. It is for anyone who has ever searched for direction in the vastness of night, for anyone who has ever felt small beneath the stars and longed for a steady hand to guide them home. The lighthouse is more than stone and fire. It is hope given shape, safety given form. It is the promise that even in the darkest night, a light will remain. You lean upon the railing and let the sea's vastness fill you. The horizon is endless, yet it does not overwhelm. It invites.
It expands.
You feel your breath widen, your chest open, your mind drift into a space as wide as the waters themselves. The flame flickers in your vision, steady and soft, and you think perhaps within yourself there is such a flame. A light that endures, a calm that does not falter, even when storms pass, even when clouds cover the stars. Have you ever wondered if your own heart carries such a lighthouse? Small perhaps, but steadfast? Tonight, standing in the Pharos, you feel it, the inner flame that does not go out. Time drifts like the tide. You are not certain how long you stand there, watching the sea, listening to the fire's breath. The keepers move quietly around you, but you hardly notice. You are elsewhere, suspended between sea and sky, flame and starlight, outer lighthouse and inner light. Eventually, you close your eyes. The warmth of the fire washes over you. The rhythm of the waves below hums through the stone. The silence of the city lingers in your body. All of it gathers, all of it blends until you feel yourself dissolving into the stillness of night itself. When you open your eyes again, the flame burns as steadily as before, unchanged as though no time has passed. You take one last long look at the horizon, one last breath of salt and smoke, and then you turn to descend. The staircase carries you down with the same rhythm, step by step, breath by breath. This time, however, the descent feels lighter, as though gravity itself has softened. You are not leaving the flame behind. You are carrying it with you. Its glow now rests within, steady, unwavering. At the base of the lighthouse, you step once more into the night. The sea laps gently at the harbour. The stars scatter their quiet light. The city sleeps, its lamps few, its voices gone. And above it all, the lighthouse flame still shines, guiding, watching, steady. The night has carried you from silence to flame, from city to sea, and now, as you step away from the harbour, the sky begins to change once more. Clouds gather in slow procession, veiling the stars one by one. The air thickens, cool and damp, carrying the scent of approaching rain. The lighthouse flame behind you glows faintly through the mist, a golden promise holding steady even as shadows fold across the horizon. And then, softly at first, like whispers on the air, the rain begins. Droplets fall against your skin, delicate and cool.
They touch your forehead, your cheeks, your hands.
They kiss the stones of the path with a sound like 1,000 tiny bells. The city around you hushes even further, as though bowing to the rain's arrival. The wooden shutters of houses glisten. The marble columns of temples darken with streaks of water.
Lamps flicker against the mist, their glow softened, blurred. The streets are almost empty now.
Only the rain remains, falling with quiet persistence.
As though the sky itself has chosen to sing you to sleep. You walk slowly,
letting the drizzle gather upon your hair, letting it run along your arms, letting it soak lightly into your clothes. There is no need to hurry. The rain does not rush. It does not demand. It only arrives, and in its arrival, it cleanses. Each droplet feels like a gentle touch, a reminder that the world itself can be soft.
Have you ever stood in the rain, not as an interruption, but as a gift?
Tonight, the rain is no storm. It is a lullaby poured from the sky. As you walk, puddles gather in the stone's grooves. You step through them, and ripples expand outward, circles within circles, each one vanishing into the whole. The sound of your steps blends with the rhythm of falling rain until you cannot tell which is which. Above, the clouds roll deeper, darker, yet never heavy. They feel vast, infinite, a ceiling made of water and wind. Lightning does not strike. Thunder does not roar. Only rain remains, constant, steady, tender. The path leads you to a quiet garden enclosed by stone walls. Olive trees stand tall, their silver leaves dripping with water, each drop catching faint glimmers of light. Statues rest here too, marble figures half hidden in shadow, their outlines softened by mist. You pause in the garden, listening.
The rain has its own language here. On leaves it is a whisper. On stone it is a soft tap. On earth it is a hush, like a sigh of relief.
The whole garden has become an orchestra of quiet sounds, woven together into something beyond music. You lower yourself onto a stone bench beneath an olive tree. The branches above do not shield you entirely. Instead, they filter the rain, letting droplets fall slowly, like beads of time. You tilt your head back and close your eyes. Droplets touch your forehead, your eyelids, your lips. They are cool, but they carry no chill. Instead, they feel like release. Perhaps you think the rain is not falling from above at all. Perhaps it is rising from within you, as though all the weight you carried in silence, all the tension held in stillness, is dissolving now into sky. Each drop becomes a letting go. Each drop becomes a breath released. Each drop becomes rest. Have you ever noticed how rain changes the world's colors? How stone grows darker, how wood deepens, how earth becomes rich, how even air itself seems painted with silver. Tonight the city wears its rain with grace. The marble glows softly. The streets shine like mirrors. The statues seem alive, their surfaces glistening with dew. The rain does not hide the world. It reveals it. It shows you textures and shades you might never have seen in dry light. And you realize perhaps life too is revealed most fully in moments when rain falls. You rise from the bench and wander deeper into the garden. Paths weave between cypress and laurel, their scent sharp and green in the damp air. At the garden's center, a small fountain trickles, its waters now swelling with rain. The droplets strike its surface, sending ripples outward that collide and merge with the fountain's own rhythm. You watch for a long moment, mesmerized by the way water meets water.
No drop resists.
No ripple denies another. Everything joins, everything blends, until what remains is one surface.
Whole and at peace, you breathe deeply.
And the scent of rain fills your chest, fresh, alive, pure. The clouds shift above, and a soft breeze moves through the garden, carrying with it a deeper drizzle. The rain thickens, not in anger but in generosity. The sound swells into a richer symphony, every leaf and stone and surface singing together. You lift your arms slightly, palms open, and let the rain fall into your hands. The droplets gather, merge, then slip away,
as though reminding you of the truth of all things, to receive, to hold, to let go. In that moment,
standing beneath olive branches, drenched and unbothered, you feel as though you have stepped into a dream where the sky and the earth have dissolved into one. Slowly, you wander toward the edge of the garden. The path opens once more into the city, where streets glisten like rivers. You walk upon them as though walking upon light itself. Reflections shimmer at your feet. Lamps, windows, columns, all stretched and rippling in the rain. And above, the clouds continue their gentle work. Rain falls without pause, but it is never too much. It is never harsh. It is exactly enough. The city has surrendered to it, and so have you. As you walk, your thoughts begin to dissolve like ink in water.
Worries blur, memories fade. Even time itself loses its sharpness.
What remains is only the rhythm, step, breath, rain. Step, breath, rain. And soon you realize you are no longer walking through a city at all. You are walking through the rain itself. The walls, the streets, the columns, they blur and vanish. Only droplets remain, infinite, falling endlessly, each one unique, each one the same. Have you ever dreamed of walking through rain where no place exists but the falling itself? Tonight that dream is yours. The rain does not end, but you no longer wish it to. It has become your shelter, your silence, your song. You walk without destination, without measure. You walk not to arrive, but to remain. At last, the rain begins to soften once more. The clouds lighten. The sound quiets. Droplets fall less steadily, more gently, until they come as single notes upon stone and leaf. The drizzle fades into mist, a thin veil that lingers upon the air. You lift your face, and the stars return, peeking through the dissolving clouds. Their light blends with the last traces of rain, until the world itself seems washed clean, luminous, reborn. You take a deep breath, and the night fills you, fresh, endless, whole. Tonight, after walking beneath the soft rain, you find yourself drawn to a gentle ascent. The streets of Alexandria have emptied, leaving only the subtle glimmer of lamplight on wet stone and the faint echo of your own footsteps. Ahead, a series of marble steps rise, polished smooth by centuries of passage. They lead you to a place that feels apart from the city, apart from time, a temple bathed in moonlight. Have you ever noticed how moonlight softens everything it touches? Stone, water, leaves, and even the edges of your own shadow. Here, the moon's silver glow feels like a tender hand, tracing the contours of the world, slowing it down, making every detail luminous and gentle. You climb the steps slowly, feeling each one beneath your feet, allowing the rhythm of ascent to align with your breathing.
Inhale, one step. Exhale, the next. Inhale, up.
Exhale, pause. There is no hurry. The night stretches around you, pliant, welcoming. With each step, the scent of jasmine and night-blooming flowers drifts from hidden gardens along the path. The fragrance mingles with the faint coolness of marble, and you feel as though every breath draws the night deeper into your body,
filling you with calm, spacious air. At last,
you reach the temple's threshold. Its columns rise tall and elegant, catching the moonlight in gentle arcs. The structure seems older than memory, yet perfectly preserved in this quiet night. You step onto the marble floor, feeling the chill beneath your feet, smooth and grounding. The air within the temple is still. It hums faintly with the resonance of ages, as though the stone itself remembers every visitor, every whispered thought, every soft footstep. Have you ever stood in a place so old that it feels alive? So quiet that it feels like it has been waiting for you for this very moment? Tonight, the temple feels exactly that way. You move deeper into the hall, noticing the way the moonlight falls through high windows. Beams of silver stretch across the floor in long, slow arcs. Dust motes float lazily in their paths, glimmering like tiny stars captured within the temple. You reach out with a finger, imagining you could touch one, and smile at the gentle impossibility of it. The temple is empty, yet it does not feel lonely. Its quiet is a presence. Its stillness is a companion. You sit upon a low step near the center, letting the marble coolness soothe your legs, your hands resting loosely on your knees. The moonlight shifts slightly as clouds pass above, painting the interior in soft patterns. Shadows drift across the columns and walls, creating shapes that are never frightening, only curious. You watch them move slowly, almost like dancers, each one carrying a story of its own. Above, the night is wide. The sky feels as though it has descended, as though moonlight itself has folded over the temple roof to cradle the earth. You close your eyes for a moment and let the glow fill your mind. It is not white or cold. It is silver warmth, a gentle embrace, a liquid calm pouring through every cell of your body. Have you ever noticed how the mind can mirror what it sees in nature? The way the softness of light can soothe tense thoughts, the way gentle movement can lull anxious energy into rest. Tonight, the temple teaches you this quietly, without instruction, without words, simply through presence. You breathe in. You feel the night enter you. You breathe out. You release what is no longer needed. Each inhale draws peace. Each exhale dissolves worry. The marble beneath your hands seems to pulse slightly, a reminder that even stone can hold memory, can hold life, can hold calm. In the temple's inner sanctum, a small altar rises. On it rests a bowl of water, its surface perfectly still, reflecting the moon and the shadows of columns like a miniature sky. You kneel before it, peering into the mirror-like surface. For a moment you see yourself quiet and awake, yet softened, as though part of the temple itself. Have you ever looked at water at night and felt it reflect more than light? Perhaps it reflects not only what is seen, but what is felt. Your face stares back at you, serene, unhurried, gentle. You are reminded that within you too there is stillness, reflection, and quiet beauty. A gentle breeze stirs through the temple. The columns hum softly in response. A vibration felt more than heard. Leaves outside rustle faintly. The bowl of water trembles ever so slightly, sending tiny ripples across its surface. Each ripple feels like a whisper. You are safe. You are present. You are enough. You reach out, letting your fingers hover above the water, but do not disturb it. You simply observe, allowing the stillness to deepen. The ripple, the reflection, the moonlight, they all become one, folding the world and yourself into a single, calm, luminous moment. Time drifts gently. Outside, the sky deepens, clouds parting just enough to let the moon shine brighter. Its light stretches across the temple floor, mingling with the faint glow of candles placed along the walls. Their flames sway softly, their light delicate and patient. The air smells faintly of wax and stone, mingled with the cool night breeze. You breathe again, slow and full, letting the rhythm of the temple guide your own.
Inhale, peace. Exhale, release.
The moonlight seems to pulse in time with your heartbeat, softening, widening, carrying you toward an inner calm that is boundless, weightless. Have you ever noticed how quiet spaces allow the mind to wander freely without concern? Here, your thoughts drift like the clouds outside, soft, slow, gentle. You are not chasing answers, not grasping for insight. You are simply being. The temple holds you in this timeless moment, inviting you to explore without effort, to drift without concern. You feel the cool marble beneath you, the faint warmth of candlelight on your skin, the moonlight flowing through your veins. You notice your shoulders relaxing further, your jaw softening, your eyelids heavy with ease. And as you rest there, you realize that moonlight has a voice of its own, not in words, but in presence. Not in speech, but in the slow unfolding of awareness. It tells you that night is not empty.
Night is full.
Full of calm, full of reflection, full of gentle light guiding the way. Each breath becomes a step deeper into that calm.
Inhale, the silver light fills you.
Exhale, the day's weight drifts away. The temple is not a building. It is a moment in time, a space of mind, a quiet chamber within yourself, illuminated by moonlight, steady, soft, eternal. The night continues its slow rhythm. The breeze shifts, stirring dust and petals. Shadows lengthen and shorten with the moon's passing, dancing ever so gently across the floor. Outside, the distant sounds of the city are muted, far away, softened by the temple's walls, and in this gentle pause you feel a sense of renewal, a quiet knowledge that no matter where you go, you can carry this temple within you. The calm, the reflection, the moonlit stillness. You rise slowly, your body light, your mind wide, your heart steady. Each step toward the marble stairs that will take you back to the garden is deliberate, unhurried. You are aware of every sensation, the cool of stone beneath your feet, the faint scent of night, the silver glow tracing your path. Tonight, you follow the path from the Temple of the Moonlight back toward the water, carrying within you the gentle silver glow and calm of the sacred chamber. The city has returned to quiet, the streets polished by the rain of earlier hours, and the cool night air drifts soft against your skin. The harbour waits, quiet and expansive, stretching before you like a liquid mirror under the starlit sky. Its waves ripple gently, carrying reflections of lanterns suspended on the water, their golden light bobbing slowly as though each lantern were breathing in time with the sea. Have you ever walked beside water at night and felt as if the world itself had paused, holding its breath in reverence? Tonight the harbour feels exactly that way, calm, endless, and luminous. It invites you to step slowly, to let your thoughts drift, to let your body soften into its rhythm. The path winds down to the dock. Wooden planks glisten faintly from earlier rain, and each step echoes softly, blending with the quiet lap of water against the pier. Boats rest idly, their hulls dark, their sails tucked. The soft sway of the tide rocks them gently, and with each movement, the lanterns float more freely, casting light upon the waves in golden, shifting patterns. You pause at the edge of the dock, letting the night fill you completely. You breathe deeply, inhale the cool scent of salt and seaweed. Exhale the tension of your day slipping quietly into the tide. Have you ever watched light dance upon water so carefully, so deliberately, that it feels like a kind of magic? The lanterns move slowly, yet with purpose, carried by currents that seem to know exactly where they belong. And in their movement, you feel a mirrored rhythm in your own body. A heartbeat, slow, steady, and peaceful. You step onto a small boat, its wood worn smooth by countless hands and countless nights. A lantern rests at its bow, its flame steady, its glow warm and inviting. You touch it gently, feeling the subtle heat, and as you do, the boat begins to drift away from the dock. The motion is gentle, rocking softly like a cradle. The water stretches around you, infinite and black, but alive with light. Each floating lantern seems to hold a story, a wish, a dream, a memory, and the gentle sway of the boat carries you past them all. You watch their reflections ripple, circles expanding outward, overlapping, merging, creating patterns as delicate as lace. Have you ever noticed how water can reflect not only light, but feeling? Each lantern seems to pulse with intention, each ripple a gentle echo of the hopes it carries. As you float past, you feel a warmth in your chest, a quiet recognition that this harbour is not only a place, but a mirror of your own inner calm. The gentle rocking of the boat becomes a lullaby. You inhale, rising slightly with each crest of the small waves. Exhale, sinking gently into each trough. Your body begins to move in harmony with the water, softening with every sway, your mind flowing freely with each gentle rise and fall. The air is fragrant with salt and a hint of flowers carried from nearby gardens. You watch as the lanterns drift past, some near, some far, and imagine the lives, the stories, the quiet wishes each might hold. You feel a sense of connection, not to people, not to events, not to noise, but to the very act of being. The lanterns float, you float. The light moves.
Your heart moves. Inhale. Peace. Exhale.
Release, inhale,
Light. Exhale.
rest. The harbour has become a world unto itself, a gentle, luminous cosmos of small, glowing orbs. Your mind follows the lanterns, drifting freely, yet held safely within their glow. Have you ever watched light so patiently, so softly, that it almost seems alive? The lanterns do not flicker or falter. They sway with the waves, yet remain steadfast in their glow. And as you watch, you feel that same steadiness within yourself, as though the harbor is teaching you the art of enduring calm. You reach out to touch the water. Cool and soft, it ripples through your fingers, reflecting the lantern's glow in tiny fragments. It is as though each ripple carries a whisper. You are safe. You are present. You are enough. The boat rocks softly beneath you, cradle-like, carrying you deeper into rest. Each wave, each lantern, each breath reminds you that movement need not disturb serenity. You float. The world floats, and the night is yours to wander gently, without expectation or hurry. As you continue, you notice a gentle fog beginning to form over the water. Not heavy or threatening, but light, ethereal, as though the harbor itself is exhaling. The lantern's light softens through the mist, their reflections becoming elongated, spectral, dreamlike. You can no longer tell where water ends and sky begins. Everything merges into a single expanse of calm and luminous possibility. The boat glides forward, and the fog curls around the lanterns. The air grows cooler but comforting. You feel enveloped, as though the mist itself is a gentle blanket, carrying you softly toward a place of deeper rest. Have you ever walked or floated in a dream where light and water become one, where boundaries blur and time loses its sharpness? Tonight the harbor offers exactly that. You are not traveling toward a destination, and yet every movement feels like arrival. The lanterns guide you not to a place, but to a state. Deep, infinite, restful presence. The stars above peek through the fog, faint glimmers mirrored in the water below. It feels as if the universe itself is reflected in each lantern, each ripple, each gentle sway of the boat. You breathe deeply, letting the rhythm of lanterns and waves, stars and mist enter your chest and fill you with quiet warmth. In the distance, the faint outline of the lighthouse appears once more. Its flame is steady, golden against the silver of moon and fog. You realize that the harbor is not separate from the light you saw before, but part of it, a soft continuation of the journey. The lanterns drift gently toward the lighthouse, and you follow, knowing you are safe, guided, and held by the night itself. The boat rocks ever so slightly, gently, like a cradle, rocking you into deeper awareness of your body's softness. Your mind's quiet, your heart's ease. Each lantern's glow feels as though it is blessing you, a silent affirmation of presence, serenity, and calm. Have you ever felt a moment so complete that it contains everything you need? So full of beauty and quiet that it feels like a world made only for you? Tonight, floating among the lanterns, breathing in the night, listening to the faint lap of water and the whisper of fog, you feel exactly that. Completeness, connection, stillness. You drift past the lanterns,
Past the gentle fog, past the mirrored lights.
and sense the harbor itself bending softly around you, guiding you forward, deeper into calm. Finally, the boat reaches a gentle cove. The water here is stiller, reflecting the sky and lanterns like a single, seamless mirror. You step onto a dock, solid beneath your feet, but softened by the lingering mist. The lanterns continue their slow drift, merging into the horizon, until only faint glimmers remain, like stars fallen to the water's surface. You breathe deeply, inhaling salt, mist, and night. Exhale, letting go of all tension, all expectation, all thought that does not serve rest. You feel weightless, cradled by harbor, night, and moonlight alike. Tonight, After drifting among the harbor's floating lanterns, you step back into the quiet streets of Alexandria, carrying the soft glow of moonlight and the golden warmth of lanterns within you. The city stretches ahead like a familiar dream, its stones glistening faintly with the last whispers of rain. The air is cool and scented with the mixture of sea, marble, and distant flowers, a quiet perfume that draws you gently forward. Have you ever noticed how a city at night feels entirely different from the same city in daylight? Shadows stretch and soften, sounds are hushed, and even the familiar feels strange and magical. Tonight, Alexandria has folded itself into a dreamscape, its streets waiting to carry you softly toward rest. You walk slowly, each step cushioned by the damp cobblestones beneath your feet. Oil lamps flicker softly along the sidewalks, their glow golden and patient. Doors and windows remain closed, as if the city itself is holding its breath, letting night move freely through alleys and squares. The world feels suspended, delicate, and entirely yours to wander. With every inhalation, you draw in the cool, salt-kissed air. With every exhalation, you release the day's weight, letting it fade into the wet streets, the arches, the quiet. Inhale, calm. Exhale, ease. The streets curve and twist gently, revealing courtyards you hadn't noticed before. Fountains that ripple faintly with leftover rain, and gardens tucked between stone walls where night-blooming flowers exhale their perfume. Their petals glisten, delicate under the starlight, and you pause to breathe in the quiet perfume, letting it fill your chest and soften your mind. Have you ever wandered through a place so still that every detail seems to matter? That every leaf, every stone, every droplet of water carries its own small story? Tonight, Alexandria teaches you this art of quiet attention, guiding you to notice without effort, to observe without interruption. In a narrow lane, you see the faint shadow of a cat moving slowly across the stones. It pauses, stretches, and then continues on its way, each movement deliberate, unhurried. Watching it, you feel a subtle reminder. Life continues in its gentle rhythm. Even in the deepest silence there is motion, and even in stillness there is presence. You continue walking, the city opening and closing around you like a breath. You pass low arches, hidden courtyards, and balconies where the curtains sway lightly in the breeze. The faint scent of candle wax mixes with jasmine and the sea, creating a lullaby of smell that carries you forward. Have you ever felt that the night itself can guide you? That each step, each shadow, each reflection of light offers direction, not to a place but to a state of being? Tonight your path through Alexandria is such a guide. You do not need to rush. You do not need to decide. You simply follow the gentle flow of streets, breathing deeply, moving softly, and allowing the city to carry you. A faint, distant melody reaches your ears, perhaps a flute, perhaps the wind passing through an old column. It is not loud or urgent. It does not demand your attention. Instead, it blends seamlessly with the rustle of leaves, the drip of water from eaves, and the soft footfalls of your journey. You close your eyes for a moment and let the music wash through you, feeling it vibrate gently in your chest, your shoulders, your fingertips. You open your eyes and continue, noticing how the light catches on wet stones and carved doorways. Patterns emerge, shapes of waves, spirals, and constellations cast upon the streets. You pause at a small fountain tucked between buildings, its water rippling quietly. Leaning over, you see your reflection mingling with the moon and the stars, a reminder that you are both part of this dream and observer of it. Each breath becomes slower, deeper, more intentional. Inhale, silver light filling you. Exhale, tension leaving you. The world narrows gently to the space between your feet, your body, and the soft glow that surrounds you. The streets begin to open into a larger square where the city's history seems almost tangible. Stone walls rise like echoes of centuries past. Lamps line the edges, their golden light mingling with the faint silver of moonlight. You pause in the center, feeling the pulse of the city beneath you, not in noise but in presence. The quiet is alive. The night is full. You notice small details. The curve of a column, the texture of a carved doorway, the shimmer of distant water. Each detail invites slow attention, without urgency, without analysis. They are here to be noticed, to be appreciated, to be absorbed into your calm. Have you ever realized that the journey itself can be as restful as the destination? Walking through these streets, surrounded by history, light, and night, you feel your mind softening. Thoughts that once felt pressing now float past, like clouds in a gentle sky. Worries dissolve like ripples in water. Only the rhythm of your breath, the glow of lamps, and the softness of marble beneath your feet remain. A gentle wind stirs, carrying with it a final touch of rain-scented coolness, blending with the warmth from the lanterns. You raise your face to it, letting it brush across your cheeks, over your closed eyelids, and into your hair. The world has become fluid, luminous and tender. You begin to walk toward the edge of the square, where the streets lead back to familiar alleys and hidden courtyards. The city feels both immense and intimate, each turn revealing something new, yet comforting, like a story told in soft whispers. You notice the silhouettes of distant towers, the reflection of stars in quiet puddles, and the gentle sway of trees in the night breeze. With each step, you feel lighter, freer, as though the streets themselves are carrying the calm you cultivated from the lighthouse, the temple, and the harbor. Each breath deepens your sense of presence. Inhale, peace. Exhale, ease. Inhale, calm. Exhale, release. As the night deepens, you feel a gentle pull toward the edges of the city, where the first hints of dawn begin to glow faintly on the horizon. The world has not yet awakened, but it carries the promise of morning. You sense that sleep is near, that your journey through Alexandria's dreaming streets has guided you to a place of inner stillness, ready to be carried into rest. You pause on a small bridge overlooking a calm canal. The water mirrors the sky, lanterns and distant lamps. You gaze into it, feeling the reflections merge with your own, until the boundary between self and world softens, until all that remains is light, quiet, and presence. Have you ever felt that sleep is not an ending but a continuation of calm, a deeper immersion into the world you carry within? Tonight, Alexandria's streets have offered that gift. You are ready to drift into dreams guided by the glow of moonlight, the gentle rocking of water, and the soft memory of every calm step you have taken. You walk the final stretch of the street slowly, deliberately, feeling the night fold gently around your shoulders. Every stone, every shadow, every soft glow invites you to release fully, to soften entirely, to let go completely. The city, now entirely hushed, seems to bow in farewell. Lamps flicker faintly for a final moment. The water glimmers softly. The last lanterns float gently from memory into darkness. And you realize that the journey through Alexandria is complete, yet its calm lives within you. ready to accompany you through sleep. You take a final deep breath, inhaling night, light, and water. Exhale, releasing everything. The city, the harbor, the temple, the lighthouse, all merge into a single, luminous calm inside you. Tonight, you have wandered through lantern-lit harbors, moonlit temples, ancient streets, and whispering courtyards. You have carried light and calm, curiosity and wonder. Now you are ready to drift fully into dreams. Let your body sink into your bed, your mind follow the gentle path you walked, and your heart rest in the luminous calm you have gathered. Inhale, soft, deep. Exhale, heavier, slower. Close your eyes and let Alexandria's dreaming streets carry you into a night of deep, restorative sleep. You are safe. You are calm. You are at peace. Good night.